As Congress attempts to avoid the so-called fiscal cliff, one tax component has a strong tie to agriculture. The current estate tax stands at 35% of an estate with a $5.12 million exemption. If Congress does nothing before January 1st, those numbers will roll up to 55% of a tax and a $1 million exemption. And the president has proposed taxing an estate at 45% with $3.5 million exempt. Although those numbers might change in the future, estate planning attorney Jim Blazek says the key is to just start thinking about protecting your assets.
Jeff, I'm a big advocate of planning when you're thinking about it. The cost of procrastination is so high that it needs to be done when you're willing and able and have time to do it. Whenever you have sufficient property you want to protect, loved ones you want to protect, it's a good time to do estate planning.
One of the things you said today is you're kind of advocating against traditional planning because you sort of miss out on some of those dollars. Explain more on that.
We've seen lots of clients, Jeff, that have used traditional planning strategies, and the traditional planning strategies cause you to waste your opportunities. A lot of times clients will have a simple will where it just gives everything to the surviving spouse. That will waste your death exemption. Whatever your death exemption is, it's wasted with that kind of planning. Also, you lose your opportunity to do generation skipping planning. It wastes your generation skipping exemption. In addition to that, it wastes your opportunity to protect property in the hands of your loved ones, to protect it from a new spouse or from a child's divorce.
You said generation skipping. That's one of the biggest mistakes people make. What is it about it that's so complex or confusing?
Well, generation skipping has a difficult name. It misleads you into thinking that it's something it's not. Whenever anybody would hear the phrase generation skipping planning, anybody would assume you're skipping your children. And most clients don't want to skip their children. In fact, it's great that probably 99.9% of all of our clients, are very, very family oriented. They want to take care of their children.
I'm glad to hear that.
So
I'm glad to hear that.
They don't want to skip their kids, but they're wasting their opportunity to pass property to their children in such a way that it's never taxed in their estates. Generation skipping planning is very important for farm families to keep it out of the hands of the IRS for generations.
What changes in 2013? 2012 is now 35% tax on estates with a $5 million exemption. What changes in 2013?
Well, under the current law, come 2013, the death exemption and the generation skipping exemption roll down to $1 million per decedent, and the rate of tax changes from 35% to a new rate of between 45 and 55%. So we have some heavy tax changes coming down the pike come 2013.
And the problem is if you don't know when you're going to die, you don't know how to plan for it. So how do you plan on what could be in place when you do pass on?
We are advocates of what we call a self-adjusting trust. We anticipate that the law will always change. In fact, the focus of 2013 is maybe a little misplaced because most of our clients are not going to die in 2013. The question is, what is the law going to be in 2023 or 2035? And so we advocate planning that will self-adjust. We like self-adjusting trust so that no matter who dies, no matter when they die, no matter what the law is when they do die, we achieve the best tax result for our clients.
You say it's important if you're going to think about life insurance to do it this year yet in 2012. Why is it so important?
Well, there's new federal law that changes the reserve requirements for insurance companies next year. So insurance companies next year will have to maintain a higher reserve limit to back their policies. That will cause an increase in rates. So we are telling people that if you want life insurance to be part of your plan, to get that insurance applied for this year while you're under the old current rates, and don't face that maybe 10 or 15% rate increase next year.